Okay, we might be live. I have absolutely no idea sometimes if this is working or not. So I'm just going to roll with this and welcome you all to the live broadcast. I haven't done a live in a very long time, and I usually don't because there's so much more prep work and everything else around it. But it takes a lot of time and effort to edit these videos. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So let me just do an audio test. I guess I have to edit this all out afterwards. Seems to be okay, I think. But as you guys join in, please let me know if the audio is okay or not, if the volume levels are okay. Like I said, I don't do this very often live. Okay, so I've got quite a bit to go through in this video, and probably the most important thing is the brand new Cardano governance info action that has just come out. And this is a massive info action that I think could send Cardano to the moon. And I don't say that lightly. This proposal has been put together. If you haven't been on X, you haven't seen it on social media, this proposal has been put together by all of the founding bodies of the Cardano ecosystem and the Midnight Foundation and Intersect. So we've got input output, we have the Cardano Foundation, we have Amerigo, we have the Midnight Foundation, and Intersect, all coming together to get this critical integrations budget over the line and into the hands of the community at the moment to vote upon. So all the DREPs at the moment are looking into this. Let me read you through the details here. So the critical integrations budget on chain reflects several weeks of collaboration amongst the core entities, with last week's mainnet incident highlighting the strength of that coordination. It's kind of fortunate that everyone here was talking to each other while that incident did happen. But anyway, the info action is online now. And let me just go through a couple of the details here so you have an idea of what's going on. So the critical integrations budget proposed an allocation of 70 million from the treasury. So this is a treasury withdrawal. It will be in a moment once they pass this first initial stage. And this is for the ecosystem critical integration, a coalition of Input Output, Amerigo, Cardano Foundation, Intersect, and Midnight Foundation, demonstrating their shared commitment in addressing these key ecosystem enablers. Cardano needs to set core infrastructure layers to unlock stablecoins, attract deeper liquidity, support institutional participation, and expand possibilities of DeFi, RWAs, and DePIN. So that's what this is all about. So this is a live, guys. So I will jump over to the comments now and then. Hey there, DPrivacy. Thanks for being in the chat there too. All right, so why does this matter? There are several key components to remain missing. And, this is something that you see in the comments here on the channel here. You guys that have been watching, you always chime in on the comments and saying, why don't we have USDT? Why don't we have USDC? Why doesn't the Cardano Foundation do something about it? And the founding entities have been fighting about who does what, who should do what, who should pay for what. And I think the majority of the time when they get to talks with various entities such as USDC and ask them, hey, do you want to integrate into the Cardano ecosystem? And one of the entities might, like Cardano Foundation, might say, hey, all right, okay, this is great. It's going to cost us $100 million to do. Cool, okay. We're not paying for that. And because of that stumbling block, they can't pay for it. They don't have deep enough liquidity to pay for that. It kind of falls apart. And then maybe IOG and Charles will negotiate with them and say, hey, how much is it for us to integrate? And because of that split and division, we don't see any movement. So hopefully we do see this turnaround and we see more people, more of the entities do more of this so that we can have a pooled source of funds to get things done, get shit done essentially. Anyway, Donan, awesome. Good to have you here. Thank you. Anyway, so tier one stablecoin infrastructure, institutional digital assets, custody and wallets, cross-chain bridges, pricing oracles, and advanced on-chain analytics. Now, it's not to say that we don't have any of that stuff. Tier 1 stablecoin, maybe not quite yet. With USDA, USDM, they're definitely getting there. We've got JED as well, that's been around for ages. Institutional digital asset custody and wallets. This is being worked on. I've spoken to a couple of projects that are doing this. I know I spoke to not IMX. I talked to Tim Brookman, who is part of IMX, a part of Finest Investments, part of DocuSign, and there's one more, Begin Wallet. I forget when you're part of so many projects. Sometimes I forget things. But they're working on this institutional wallet side of things as well. So there's quite a few people working there, and there's certain things that are needed. I don't know all the details. But this is something that's quite interesting. Cross-chain bridges, yes, we kind of have one chain. They're definitely doing a good job of bringing in assets, but there are other bridges out there that people want to use. Pricing oracles, we do have homegrown oracles within the Cardano ecosystem. We got Charlie, we have OrcFax, and they're great, and many projects are using them. But from an outside perspective, not many developers outside of the Cardano ecosystem even know about them. That's probably something that we need to work on as an ecosystem, try and push it out there as well. But Chainlink and all those other ones out there, they're the ones that most developers use. Got lots of libraries out there. So if you're building a brand new dApp, you just connect in your existing oracles, or if you have an existing application, you can just pull on an extra endpoint and say, hey, put in ADA with that endpoint, and you get your pricing oracle data there. So there's little things like that that makes it just a little bit easier if we did have those integrations. Same with the on-chain analytics. If the Cardano data isn't on the main analytics platforms that everyone uses, you can't force people to go to a new one that is built specifically for Cardano just to get the Cardano data. Anyway, so that's what we kind of need here to get this moving past the point where it is right now. And maybe we will see USDC. Maybe we will see USDT. These are the key bits and pieces that are needed to get past these points. Donan, any updates on Chainlink? No, none whatsoever. And I really don't think it's going to happen until this kind of stuff happens here. Lots of things are missing endpoints, or even just paying for it to happen. I've heard that the price for integrating in Chainlink is astronomical, so it might not happen because of these aspects. Let me just put on the pop filter for you guys. I'm not popping into the mic. All right, so I'll let you guys read the rest of the article there. I know you can all read, so I'll put the links in the show notes afterwards. But this info action has, you can see here, it's only been, I think it's been 14 hours or so since this has been launched, and it's at 41% vote over the line at the moment. So it needs to get up to that 70 or so percent, I think it was, the threshold. We would have it on the dashboard here, but I can't see it. But we need to get past that threshold. But within that 14 hours, it's powering through it. And I haven't seen anyone vote no for this particular proposal yet. I've gone through, I voted about 8 hours ago. There I am there. So any of my delegates there, if you did want to vote no, find someone that will vote no for it and change your delegation. Otherwise, it's a yes vote for me at this point in time. And we'll go through my reasoning and everything as well. Give me 1 second. My lights behind me have turned off. Try to keep things consistent. There we go. All right, where was I? So what are people actually saying about this? And here, Perry writes, critical is the key word here. We're at a crossroad. This proposal is a starting point towards achieving technical parity with our competitors and institutional grade infrastructure that can finally meet real market demand. Totally agree with that there. And can we afford this? 17 million ADA? Yeah, we can definitely afford this. The war chest, the treasury is in the billions at the moment. And, if I know a lot of people have a conservative mindset in regards to making that treasury last, but Sure. Okay. Let's spend our money wisely. Yes, but if we don't spend the money on the things that need to get past a certain point, such as all these critical infrastructure things, I don't think Cardano would go anywhere. I really don't. So let's spend the money where it should be spent, especially around this critical integrations. Now here, Pi writes a little bit about the costings, and I think the costings is a little vague at the moment, or extremely vague. There's absolutely no details around it. But let me just read through what Pi has to say here. Given all the different numbers that I've seen floated around, I personally suspect that in all this roster of superpowers will cost way more, maybe double or triple what is being asked for. I assume that means that the founding entities have some agreement to cover the rest of the costs from their funds. Something to keep in mind. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Nowhere within the budget proposal at the moment, which you can read on here on ADA Stat. If you go to here and click on metadata, this is the full write-up for it. You can see it all on chain. It is all in GovTools as well if you want to read it there. It's a bigger font, nice formatting there. It's easier to read, but you can read it all there. But there's no details about what's going to be delivered or the price of anything. But from what we've seen so far online, the assumption here is that the founding entities will be paying for any additional costs, and I highly suspect there will be additional costs for this. All the costs that I've seen just for exchange listings and for Midnight and the Night token to be listed on a centralized exchange such as Coinbase and Binance is going to cost an absolute fortune. But they're the first pieces that need to be done. So it's either ADA native or Night token to be native on those particular exchanges, centralized exchanges. And once that work is done, then other tokens within the Cardano ecosystem can easily apply and be listed on. So someone has to do that initial integration work. And I'm assuming that this is why this proposal is being put together. Someone needs to pay for it, and a collective pool of funds, including the treasury funds, is the way that things are going. So this was asked a little bit earlier today, and it's definitely going to be additionally co-funded by the founding entities, and that's exactly what I'd expect as well. So not just coming from the treasury, coming from all entities and the community itself. Now there are some other pieces of work, such as what Igon are working on at the moment with Fireblocks and their integration. And some of these things, because the proposal is a little bit vague, it may fall into the proposal as well. So if it does, it will spearhead some of this work that Igon are doing with their Fireblocks integrations and whatnot. So we'll see some real world implications there too. Now, what is Hosky saying? Now, Hosky always has a good opinion on various things and does a lot of research on it. So let me just read you through what Hosky is saying at the moment. So early thoughts on this. Based on information I've managed to get my paws on, has to be a dog, the actual cost of what they're doing is significantly higher than what they're requesting. Others have also confirmed that the submitters will be covering the difference themselves, given that it's hard for me not to lean towards a yes vote. Very good. Now, Phil Lewis here, he is on the Oceania Council. I've forgotten their name. I'm so sorry, Phil. It's one of the counts uh, intersect. I've forgotten the name. I got to get this right. It is. Let me just come back here. Constitutional Committee members. How can I forget that? Here we go. Eastern Cardano Council. That's the correct name. And one of the constitutional committees that vote on these various proposals. So let me go back to what Phil has to say here. With so much positivity around this proposal, I hate to have to be that guy who simply asks for the same level of scrutiny that has been imposed on other GAs. Does the fact that It is the founding entities means they don't have to meet the same criteria as everyone else. That will suggest two-tiered governance system. I do really agree with that. There's a big lack of detail in regards to what is going to be delivered, what is going to be the budgets on all these aspects. And I would love to see that information, and at least that information given out to the community, if not within that governance action, in other mediums within a X space or something else. That would be really good to see. How are the comments going, guys? Yes, every D-rep voted yes until now. Until now? Really? Someone voted no? Let me just refresh this. If someone voted no, I'd really like to see why they voted no. And no, I can't see anyone voted no yet. Be very surprised if anyone voted no. Anyway, I have voted. Like I said, if you do want to delegate to me as a D-rep, you can get to my site here. This is drep.learncardano.io, and you can find all the information in the links down below. Excuse me, guys. This is my reasoning here. This is my response that I put into my governance action vote. If you do want to read, I'm not going to read it out for you guys, but it's essentially, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Founding entities are getting together. They're going to fund the rest, the difference. But I would like to see some clearer KPIs and budgets and stuff like that. Essentially what we've been talking about. But thank you for anyone that's delegated to me. Now, what else have I got for you guys here? Got some memes, got some funny things. Now, I kind of wonder if this meme has a bit more deeper meaning. Like, did this event here? So, if you didn't know, if you didn't see, the big soft fork, as it's now called, the chain partitioning within the Cardano ecosystem, Eric Cartman caused it, or should I say Homer J, a state pool operator running the pool AAA, which is now retiring. He, because of that malformed transaction, it kind of brought the entire community and everyone together. That triggering event. You always see, like in politics, that there's always some sort of big event that kind of unites everyone together. Something that like a flag rallying event, something out there that people go, hey, wow, we really have to all band together to fix this issue. And that was kind of like what happened here. So whether it was malicious or not, it really got the community together and the founding entities actually working. So, kind of a good effect out of all of that. What else have I got? What else have I got for you guys? This is something I just put together today. I've just had a little bit of time. I was playing around with AI. I thought it was pretty cool, but this is what you can do these days. Let me just play this for you.
The 6 great gemstones are finally assembled. Forged by Input-Output, Cardano Foundation, Emergo, Intersect, Midnight, and the Cardano tribe itself. With their power combined, a new seal trembles. The next stage of the Cardano realm is ready to awaken. Tier 1 stablecoins, bridges, oracles, institutional vaults, analytics that see beyond the veil. The critical integrations budget is the key. If the community wills it, 2026 becomes the year the ecosystem unlocks its full magic. The 6 great institutional vaults.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I did that all in Chat GPT and another AI platform that this over as well. So I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's little things that you can do like that these days. It's just didn't take me long. It took me about 30, 40 minutes. A little bit of Photoshop work as well. But yeah, I'll put links to that if you want to see it again. Let me just check the comments here. Basti Werder, yeah, it was amazing that the community did stick together on this. It's and come together. It was amazing to see. Just rearranging the screen a little bit easier. I'm trying to rearrange it, but it doesn't matter. What's that? PXKQD? Don't know how to pronounce that username. Yeah, the language is very vague. Does seem like a blank check, but over the next week or so, we can dig into it. We can ask questions and ask what it's all about and get clarity around that. So we do have time for that. Although the rate of voting on this is pretty fast, by tomorrow morning, this might have been approved, which will be the fastest governance action ever. But we'll see how that goes. Now, I've got some other news for you guys. Now, if you've got any questions, if you want to leave a comment and include it on the show, I don't have that little pop-up thing that comes up. I'm doing this live stream straight from OBS. So I don't have any of the fancy bits and pieces. But let me go through some news updates for you guys as well. Now, this one here was a clip that Angry did, Angry Crypto Show. By the way, he's back. If you didn't notice, he's back doing Cardano and XRP content. I've started doing XRP and Bitcoin content as well. But here, let me just play you this clip here. One here was a
Cardano didn't stop producing blocks or anything like that. So I think anything that says Cardano was brought to a halt is wide of the mark and overly fuddish. Cardano didn't stop producing blocks or anything like that. So I think anything that says Cardano was brought to a halt is wide of the mark and overly fuddish. Cardano didn't.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see such a big voice like as Coin Bureau to defend ADA and say Cardano didn't stop. And that was the general FUD that Cardano halted, it stopped like Solana did. It clearly didn't, it wasn't very clear to a lot of people, but it was explained exactly what happened. Me as a stake pool operator, I saw the block still going through. My pool was still minting in the back. So hopefully that message got through to a broader audience now to understand how powerful this all was. So it's pretty cool to see. I thought this was a pretty cute story. I posted a X post about taking my cat for a car ride. But here, these cats in a Mongolian Bitcoin farm were overheating these Bitcoin mining machines because they were sleeping on them. They were sleeping on them, warming themselves up in the cold night, and as a result, blocking the airflow and overheating these Bitcoin miners and shutting them down. Cute story, I think. Cute story. Let me move to the next one. Tap tools here. Now, this is a bit of a debate that's going on at the moment, and this is all to do with liquidity that is on a lot of dexes. So if you provide liquidity to a dex, you might provide it in ADA and USD M or something like that. And the ADA there is technically eligible for the Glacier airdrops. They may have already claimed it, and they're eligible for it. Now, do you think projects that earn NIGHT from user-funded smart contracts should distribute those tokens back to the community? And there's a bit of a debate going on. Some protocols have said that they will distribute them directly to the community, while others said, we're going to work through things. Maybe we'll distribute some to the liquidity providers and some to token holders. MinSwap is one of those. They're going through a voting process, a governance process at the moment to try and work out how they're going to distribute those tokens. And it's a little messy here. Majority of the protocols out there are saying we are just going to distribute our NIGHT tokens to LP holders, and they're working out a way for them to actually claim it. Hopefully MinSwap do go down that same path as well. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of angry people, and hopefully we don't see fractionalization of the liquidity over to other platforms. We do need more liquidity. The other platforms do need more liquidity as well, but when you split that liquidity, the pools get smaller, and then we have more price impact within the pools. So, deeper liquidity is better, but we'll see where the liquidity goes. You move your liquidity and protest if you don't like something. Just checking the comments here. Johnny, how many nights do you have? Johnny, I have absolutely no idea. I've consolidated some of my wallets. I'd have at least a few thousand at least. Sonic just got here. What I'd miss? Lots of things. Sonic, have to replay. Go back and watch it again. But we did talk about the big governance info action, about the critical integrations, and a couple of news stories. What else I've got for you guys? This here is just a big shout out for Dave, Invalid EUTX. So he's doing the Cardano Pavilions project, where it's all the events all around the world. And he's getting people to sign up for this at the moment. So this is like a Token 2049 Dubai, Paris Blockchain Week, all those really big events around the world. And if you want Cardano to have a voice in one of those events around the world, contact Dave. If you want to be at one of those events, if you want to present your project, whatever it might be, now's the time. If you want to be in one of those events next year, say Token 2049 or the Cardano Summit next year in September, or was it October? You got to start working on that now. It does cost a lot of money, and you do have to start planning for it now. So contact Dave so you can get things moving. This was a good news story, and I thought it was good to see. But the Treasury, the governance action for the Treasury withdrawal of this 5 million ADA for the SNEC governance action there has passed, and I thought that was a good milestone for these guys. Now, this is an interesting one because this is a loan. This is a loan from the Treasury, so they're putting their money where their mouth is, and now they have to action on this particular proposal, get the exchange listings that they are promising or fighting for, and then pay back this loan to the Treasury. I don't know if it was with interest, but this would be amazing if they do, because either this will set a standard for new proposals out there, or we won't see this type of proposal again. But I hope, I really do hope the best for this one, because I think this is one of those proposals that could have massive impact for the ecosystem in regards to what it's trying to achieve with exchange listings and all those things, but then also setting a standard for this type of loan from the Treasury. So awesome work, SNEC. Speaking of which, I am waiting for my SNEC figurine. Did anyone here? Let me know in the comments if you got your SNEC figurine. I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm waiting for mine. I do believe they're coming from Vietnam. It's not too far away. It should take about 2 weeks to get here at the most if it's coming by boat, by cheap shipping. If I have to pay more, guys, let me know. I will pay more for shipping. I just want it on my shelf. Got my Bitcoin miner there, my Igon node. I need more things. Anyway, next news story. This was good. This is the Cardano Foundation's info action to get support for their ICANN application for .ada and .cardano domains. Now, this is the generic top-level domains so that you can register a .ada and .cardano address. Now, this is a big branding exercise. This is a really big long-term process. I did an interview with Chris from Blink Labs about this as well. And it's really interesting because they integrate in blockchain tech with Handshake and Cardano all in the back end. So on the front end, you can go to GoDaddy, you can go to Crazy Domains, you can go to Bluehost, anywhere where you would buy a domain name at the moment and just buy your .ada domain. But in the back end, a lot of the infrastructure there can be replaced with blockchain tech. And that's just the first step. So this is just the first example. And if successful, this, mind you, this is going to take many years. The ICANN process will take probably 2 years as a process to apply for. And they needed those votes on chain to prove that there's a massive community behind those domain names that want it. So it's all a money-making thing. So if you can prove that you've got a community that will buy the domains, sure, okay, we'll go ahead and put this in. But they've put in that application. It's going to take about 2 years, and then even longer afterwards to actually get everything through the processes. So once we do get those domains, having that all powered by blockchain would be absolutely amazing, because then other domains can actually have that all integrated in as well. So you can have .coms all powered by Cardano and Handshake. You can have any other domain be replaced, have the old legacy infrastructure replaced over with brand new blockchain tech. And the fact that Blink Labs have realized this and been working on all the stuff that they need for Handshake and all the stuff they need on the Cardano side of things, they have a working demo, which they demoed last year. And, now they just need this last piece of the puzzle, the Cardano Foundation doing all the legal work to actually make that happen. So thank you everyone that's voted for this one here. It did take a little bit longer than this current governance action, but it's a really awesome piece that has moved forward in the process here. Like I said, it's going to take a long time, but we'll see how it goes. Let me just check the comments here. Robert writes, what would your dream list be? I've seen Charles mention Chainlink, Are they, Layer 0, Wormhole, USD1. Others mention Charlie 3. I don't have a dream list at the moment, but I'll work on that. I'll let you know. Dimez, don't know how to pronounce that. Thank you for the quality videos, unlike the dog. Yeah, okay. You've been posting a bit about Luxide. It's okay, let Luxide do his thing. If you haven't watched his videos, go check him out. If you type in Cardano, he comes up with in almost every search. So one thing that he's doing right, he's definitely got the video SEO side of things correct. Next news story, guys. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more stories for you guys, and then I'll call it a night here. This was a good post here that I saw, and this was around what and where Midnight is going to be listed on launch. I don't know if on launch, but very soon, after launch maybe. Kraken, OKX, Bitpanda, and NBX. So these are the main exchanges that we see Cardano assets on at the moment. So if it's if you've seen a Cardano native token trading on a centralized exchange, you probably will see Knight's token on there as well. So they're the pretty standard ones, but hopefully we do see a couple more big exchanges closer to the 8th of December when Night launches. And great, my browser is crashing, but we'll see how much longer we can go with this. Oh, there we go. Great. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but AAA pool has retired. As of the Epoch changeover, his pool is now ceased to exist. It's been retired, and anyone delegated to that pool, there's still 7.7 million ADA delegated to that pool, will need to move because you aren't getting your ADA rewards anymore. So that's unfortunate. It's kind of expected. Like what he had gone through. If I did that, and I've been blasted by the community, I would sell everything and never come back. I totally understand. I don't know where his head is at the moment. Hopefully it's not in a dark place. Hopefully he is okay. I don't want people to die over these type of things. Should be punished? Yeah, maybe there should be some sort of consequence of doing this. Losing out on ADA rewards is definitely one of them. Anyway, if you are delegated to AAA pool, you do need to move your delegation. A couple more stories for you guys here. Now, I got this little bit of hardware. I don't know why I'm obsessed with seed phrase storage, but I got this little device here. Let me just show you on the camera here. You won't be able to see it too well on here, but this it seriously is just a little piece of metal that's cut perfectly same size as a credit card. So this is a credit card here. Can I change the video here? Oh yeah, I can. Awesome. OBS, you rock. So this is a crypto.com, and notice how I covered all the details, but it's exactly the same size. So I love that because you can put that in your wallet. or if you have a wallet storage device, RFID things, put that away and store it away safely because it's in the same dimensions. It's those tiny little things there. But this thing here, it came with an etching pen. And of course, I can't find it now. Here you guys, etching pen, but it's just really, here it is. This cheap little pen here, super sharp tip. But I don't know if it's like, I can't, I poked up myself. But it's a super sharp tip and it's so easy to scribe into that piece of metal. I've got like an engraving tool as well that you can write your seed phrases in on pieces of metal as well. But this etching tool was so easy to use. You can just like simply write all the words that you need into it as your seed phrase. So it's really nice. And I bought this for, I think it was $7 on Temu with free shipping. So if you want a nice way to store your seed phrase and pick up a couple of these, it was cheaper if you buy more. You can buy a whole bunch of these, give them away as Christmas presents. It's kind of like a little starter pack for anyone that's in the crypto space. So check it out, guys. If I remember to put the link to it in the show notes, I'll put it down below. But welcome anyone that's just come into the live stream here. Kraken is their first tier exchange. Yep, yeah, there'll be more listed. Well, guys, thank you for joining in and commenting on the live stream too. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay, let me go back to the camera here. Wrong one. There we go. Last news story here, and this is a really nice step forward for the visualization and development process of Laos. So Laos, it's the scaling solution for Cardano. We're going to see massive amount of scaling when this comes out. Parallel transactions, parallel blockchains, parallel chains being processed by the Cardano blockchain, then being merged into one. So kind of like what the soft fork did is what Laos is kind of doing. But then instead of going for the longest chain, it actually merges them all together. That's kind of like a really simple way of explaining it. But it was such a beautiful design. I thought this was a really great way of visualizing how and what is going on with the project. So you can check this out. I'll put links down below for you guys, but if you haven't seen it yet, essentially what they've done is they've gone through their GitHub commits and made a really nice visualization for it. So you can see who and where things have been committed from. So you can see there's a nice global effort, how many lines of code, how many commits are done over time. I guess this is like a waterfall development process. This is what you see on GitHub. These are all the commits and when they're done. So it's like a heat map of commits, and then a little bit more about documentation and latest news around it. So it's a really nice visual way of representing what's been going on from a development side of things. You can see all of this on GitHub as well. It's pretty much what happens on GitHub, but it looks visually nice and is a little bit more easier to communicate to the community as well. So I love what they've done there. So awesome work. That's all I got for you guys here. That's all I have for this particular news update. And I'm kind of glad I did it as a live stream because it only took me just about an hour to do, and I don't have to do any editing, which is the great thing. But, like I always say, if you want, guys, if you want to support the work that I do, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee. I've got links in the show notes as well, where you can buy me a coffee, support all the work I do there. I've got a Patreon where I've started to upload members only videos too. And I've got, what else I got? YouTube memberships down below. So if you click on YouTube memberships, if you scroll down a little bit, you see the memberships there. And you also get early access to various videos. So the way I'm doing videos now, so I'll do an interview with a project. They're all scheduled up, and then I upload them weeks in advance. So that, I think I've got about another 3 videos that I haven't finished editing yet, but they'll hopefully go up over the weekend. There should be about 5 preview videos for members that they'll see first before it gets out to the general audience. So I've got one from Igon. I've got one from Ascent Rivals. I've got another one from Finest Investments. ZK Poker. Yeah, there's quite a few. So there's quite a few videos that I've yet to put up that only members can see. So you can check that out if you are a member, get early access to it. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you at the moment. Just looking over the chat. Nothing too important there, I think. Actually, Manny writes, when will be the night's redemption period for mining? From what I understand, we'll find out on the 8th of December. So that's when the mainnet is supposed to be opened or launched, or at least mainnet access. I don't know if we are going to be able to access the tokens on that launch date. I have a feeling we won't. There might be a process of going to the website and saying, hey, yes, I'm active, I'm going to claim it. And then in 90 days time, so 3 months from the 8th of December, so closer to probably February, early Feb, is when you'll be able to get your hands on those night tokens. That's my prediction. Of what I think might be happening, because they talk about a thawing period of 90 days from the launch, and then the last one is at the end of the 4 tranches. So I think it's at the end of the 90 days. So that's the way I see it. That's how I'm interpreting what's happening there. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on the live stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out. Absolutely love you guys for supporting all the work I do. And I'll see you guys in the next video.